What happens when you give ChatGPT 5.5 and Claude Opus 4.7 the exact same messy challenge and then you refuse to help them? No follow-up prompts, no fix this, no second chances, just one prompt and whatever they build is what we judge. Because benchmarks are cool, but I don't live inside a benchmark chart. I live inside broken layouts, buggy code, and projects that somehow needed to be done yesterday. So today on AI Tool Tracker, we're testing ChatGPT 5.5 versus Claude Opus 4.7 across 4 real-world experiments. Let's track it. But we are not just staring at benchmark charts today. For this test, I gave both models the same kind of prompt, and I did not iterate. That means one prompt, one output, no back and forth, no fixing mistakes, no mercy. And the 4 tests are a SaaS landing page, an interactive analytics dashboard, a mini browser game, a complex simulation. For each one, I'll show you the prompt, the output, what worked, what failed, and which model gave me the better first draft. First, we will start by designing the SaaS landing page on both the AI models.
Claude's Orbit Desk page looked the most premium at first glance. It built the full landing page with a hero section, features, pricing, testimonials, FAQ, final CTA, responsive design, and a working theme toggle. The standout part was the hero section. Instead of using a normal dashboard mockup, Claude created an interactive orbit visual with draggable project nodes. That felt unique, branded, and it matched the Orbit Desk name really well. The downside is that it added some fake-sounding claims like SOC 2 and 12,000 plus users, which would definitely need cleanup before using this for a real product. ChatGPT also completed the full landing page properly. It included all the required sections, light and dark mode, responsive design, and JavaScript interactions. The hero section was more practical. Instead of going for a highly branded visual, it showed a dashboard-style preview with a typing animation and draggable Kanban cards. That directly explained the product idea, turning messy ideas into organized projects. Design-wise, it looked clean and modern, but a bit more familiar compared to Claude's version. So the difference is simple. Claude had the stronger visual identity. ChatGPT had the clearer product explanation. Claude felt more premium and memorable. ChatGPT felt more practical and realistic. For this test, I'd give the win to Claude 4.7, but only by a small margin. The reason is simple. The prompt asked for a premium SaaS landing page, and Claude's design had the stronger first impression. But ChatGPT was very close, especially on product clarity.
For test 2, we're giving both models a creator analytics dashboard to see who can turn data into something actually useful.
Claude's AI Tool Tracker dashboard had the stronger visual identity at first glance. It built the full dashboard with KPI cards, filters, charts, a top insights section, a sortable video performance table, responsive design, and mock data for 12 videos. The standout part was the design style. Instead of a typical SaaS dashboard, Claude created a darker Creator Studio look with serif typography, lime accents, subtle grain, KPI sparklines, and a very premium editorial feel. Functionally, it also added useful touches like filter chips for all short, long-form, tutorial, and review, plus a sortable table for views, CTR, retention, revenue, and subscribers. The downside is that it felt a little more like a beautiful analytics report than a full dashboard app. It also used external Google fonts, so it was not fully self-contained. ChatGPT's dashboard felt more practical and app-like. It built the full dashboard with mock video data, KPI cards, filters, multiple charts, a performance table, a top insights section, and a responsive layout. The standout part was how useful it felt for a creator. It tracked total views, average CTR, retention, estimated revenue, and subscriber growth, but it also connected those numbers to actual decisions. The charts covered views versus revenue, CTR versus retention, and type breakdown, so it gave a wider view of channel performance. The filters also worked well, updating the KPIs, table, charts, video count, and insight text based on the selected video type. The downside is that the charts were custom canvas visuals, so they looked clean, but they were not deeply interactive. This round comes down to presentation versus utility. Claude made the dashboard feel like a premium creator studio. It had better typography, a more distinctive look, and the sortable table was a smart addition. But ChatGPT made the dashboard feel more usable day to day. It gave more chart coverage, clearer metric breakdowns, stronger filter behavior, and a top insight section that felt directly connected to creator decisions. So for test 2, I'd give the win to ChatGPT 5.5, but not by a huge gap. Claude wins on style and polish. ChatGPT wins on practical dashboard value. And because the prompt was specifically about helping a creator understand what is working and what is not, ChatGPT gets the edge here.
For test 3, we're moving into game territory with a neon Reflex browser game that needs to be playable, not just pretty.
Claude's neon Reflex game had the stronger retro arcade identity at first glance. It built the full game with a start screen, gameplay screen, game over screen, score, lives, combo, timer, active target prompt, falling objects, particle effects, penalty effects, and web audio sound effects. The standout part was the style. Claude went all in on the cyberpunk arcade look with huge neon typography, a Protocol v2.7 subtitle, shape previews, an initiate button, glowing outlines, and a moving grid floor background. In gameplay, the mission system used broader targets, like click all stars, which made the game feel a little more flexible. The downside is that the interface felt busier, and it used external Google fonts, so it was not fully self-contained. ChatGPT's neon Reflex game felt more polished and cleaner in actual gameplay. It built the complete game with a start screen, gameplay screen, game over screen, score, lives, combo multiplier, timer, mission prompt, particle effects, penalty effects, and web audio sound effects. The standout part was the playability. The start screen looked clean, the instructions were easy to understand, and once the game started, the mission prompt clearly showed exactly what to click, like click violet diamond only. Visually, it had glowing objects, a cyber grid background, screen flashes, particles, floating score text, and a clean HUD. The downside is that it was still fairly simple. There were no power-ups, levels, or deeper game modes. Overall, it felt smooth, readable, and fun enough to play immediately. This round is really about arcade personality versus gameplay clarity. Claude had the stronger visual theme. It felt more like a retro cyberpunk arcade cabinet, with bolder typography, shape previews, and a more dramatic start screen. But ChatGPT felt easier to play. The mission prompt was clearer, the HUD was cleaner, and the actual game screen felt less crowded while still keeping the neon style. So for test 3, I'd give the win to ChatGPT 5.5. Claude wins on visual personality, ChatGPT wins on first-shot playability. And for a browser game, that matters more. Because if the player instantly understands what to click and wants to keep playing, the core loop is doing its job.
For test 4, we're giving both models the hardest challenge, a city traffic simulation where the logic matters as much as the design.
Traffic pulse simulation looked the most like a real control room system. It built the full simulation with a top-down city grid, moving vehicles, traffic lights, emergency vehicles, pause and reset controls, speed controls, fleet controls, signal cycle controls, a legend, and live stats. The standout part was the interface. Claude created a dense dashboard layout with controls on the left, the simulation in the center, and stats on the right. It showed active vehicles, average speed, congestion, completed trips, collisions avoided, and emergency response. Visually, the roads, buildings, traffic lights, vehicle types, congestion zones, and emergency vehicles were all easy to understand. The downside is that the simulation logic was not perfect. Not all vehicles stopped properly at red lights, which weakens the core traffic behavior. ChatGPT's traffic pulse simulation looked cleaner and more approachable. It built the full simulation with a top-down city grid, moving vehicles, traffic lights, pause and reset controls, speed control, live stats, congestion tracking, collision avoidance, completed trips, and an emergency vehicle effect. The standout part was the simplicity. Instead of a dense control room layout, ChatGPT created a clean two-column interface with the simulation on the left and the controls and stats on the right. It also added a useful interaction where you can click the map to spawn a car, which made the simulation feel more hands-on. Visually, the glowing vehicles, road grid, traffic lights, and stat cards were easy to read. The downside is that some vehicles did not stop at red lights, and some vehicles overlapped each other, so the core simulation logic still needed work.
This test is less about design and more about whether the simulation actually behaves correctly. Claude gave the more advanced control center interface with more sliders, more system details, and better monitoring depth. ChatGPT gave the cleaner user experience with a simpler layout and a nice click-to-spawn interaction. But both had the same big weakness. The traffic rules were not fully reliable. Claude had vehicles ignoring red lights. ChatGPT had vehicles ignoring red lights and overlapping each other. So for test 4, I'd give the win to Claude 4.7, but with a warning label. It had the more complete simulation dashboard, while ChatGPT was easier to use. But neither one produced a perfect traffic simulation in one shot.
My final verdict is this. Claude 4.7 won the landing page and the traffic simulation. ChatGPT 5.5 won the analytics dashboard and the browser game. So if we only look at winners, this is a tie. Claude 4.7 is better when you care most about visual identity, premium presentation, and long-form polish. ChatGPT 5.5 is better when you care most about clean execution, practical usability, faster iteration, and first-shot functionality. But real-world model choice is not just about who won more rounds. It is about what kind of work each model is better suited for. And once you add speed, cost, and token usage into the equation, ChatGPT 5.5 becomes especially interesting. Because even if the output token price is higher, fewer output tokens and less back and forth can still make it cheaper in actual workflows. That is the part a benchmark chart does not always show you. So that was my real-world comparison of ChatGPT 5.5 versus Claude Opus 4.7. And this is exactly why I don't love the question, which model is the best? The better question is, best for what? Because the model that wins a landing page test may not win a game test. The model that makes the prettiest interface may not produce the cleanest logic. And the model that looks more expensive on paper may not actually cost more if it gets the work done with fewer tokens and fewer revisions. I'll leave all 4 prompts in the Notion doc linked in the description so you can copy them and run the same tests yourself. And if you want to try the actual outputs, I'll also add the CodePen links in the description. You can open the HTML versions and test them directly in your browser. So don't just watch the comparison. Run the prompts, play with the outputs, and see which model fits your own workflow better. Check the speed, check the cost, check the output tokens, and most importantly, check how much cleanup is needed before the result is actually useful. That is where the real winner shops up. If you enjoyed this comparison, follow AI Tool Tracker. I test the tools so you don't waste time.